Where do you want to start?
Anywhere you'd like to start.
All right, China. Cryptocurrency, what they're doing.
That's my safe word, by the way.
Okay, good. What they're doing. Cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it'll kill any
Good to know for later for us. Go ahead.
Well, I suppose cryptocurrency is fundamentally aimed at reducing the power of a centralized government.
Yes, it is.
And that they don't like that.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay. You can change the shares of cryptocurrency more than China can.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
If it goes up, I suppose it is. And always long-term role for crypto. Really people should think of any kind of money system, whether it's a store of value or currency, as really a form of information. If you apply information theory to money, whether it's cryptocurrency or some other form, and view it in terms of how good is it at sort of bandwidth, latency, jitter, dropping packets, which is, you could say, like fraud is like losing packets or something on the network, its overall security, then I think a lot of these things just make a lot of sense in that regard. Like any form of money has no power in and of itself except as an exchange of value between people for goods or services, or to translate things in time. But Starlink is really, just to be clear, not a threat to 5G or terrestrial fiber or anything like that. But it's very well suited to low to medium density regions of the Earth, places where it is too expensive to trench fiber or put 5G cellular base stations, and so it's really it kind of takes care of the people that just didn't get internet, or either the internet's too slow or too expensive, or they just don't have it at all. It's very well suited, a space-based system for serving like the least served, maybe 5% or something like that. If we can get to say 3% of global internet traffic, then that's roughly $1 trillion a year business. Then we can increase our revenue by an order of magnitude to more like 30 billion or something like that, and then we can use the proceeds from that to develop the rocket technology necessary to get humanity to Mars and to the moon and elsewhere in the solar system.
You did not send yourself up?
No, I've not sent myself up. I suppose I will at some point. But my goal is not to send myself up. My goal is to open up space for humanity and ultimately set us on a path to becoming a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species.
Yes. So you don't want to go up yourself?
It's neither here nor there. I will go at some point. And that's what I'm spending most of my time on, is driving the development of Starship.
Starship, so you can go to Mars, or you want civilization on Mars?
Civilization on Mars.
So what's first, the moon base, or moon base first, correct?
I mean, the moon is close, so we might as well.
Okay. You got a contract with the Defense Department to do a lunar lander.
From NASA.
From NASA, which is being disputed by Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I think I've expressed my thoughts on that front. I think he should put more of his energy into getting to orbit than lawsuits. You cannot sue your way to the moon. Okay. You know how good your lawyers are.
Yeah. So why isn't he doing that?
I don't know.
I also like to make fun of his rocket. Y'all make fun of each other's rockets.
I think it does have, it could be a different shape, potentially.
Could you explain from a technological point of view why it's that shape?
Well, if you are only going to doing suborbital, then your rocket can be sort of shorter, yes. Yeah.
So, have you called him and said, cut the shit, get bigger, or what?
I have encouraged him to emphasize getting to orbit. Yes.
You talk to him?
Not verbally.
Verbally? What is it, mind meld or
No,
what?
just
Tweet at him. Tweet at him.
Yeah, exactly. Subtweet, if you will.
Subtweet.
I think there is value that shouldn't be denigrated for people who want to experience going to orbit or going to the moon. When they do so, I think to some degree vicariously we all go with them. When in the Apollo program, when they landed on the moon, it was just a handful of individuals on the moon, but we all went with them vicariously. Humanity went with them. Like if you did a poll of people on Earth and said, "Tell me, what do you think is humanity's greatest achievement of the maybe ever?" It's like landing on the moon. And that's inspiring, I think, to kids everywhere. The technology is expensive at first. You can't just, when you try to develop brand new technology, it doesn't instantly become cheap and affordable. And think of like cell phones, and the early cell phones were really expensive and sucked,
Yeah.
frankly. You think of like Wall Street One, where, he's walking down the beach with the shoebox-sized cell phone on it, talking to this, so just like really expensive, and the tech wasn't that great. But if some number of people didn't pay for the expensive cell phones, there would not be the inexpensive cell phones that everyone can afford.
So we should thank billionaires for going into space.
It doesn't have to be top of your thank you list, but it's not. I'm just saying that when there's new technology, it is necessarily expensive until you can refine the design and you can scale things up, and then you can make it more affordable. Like how do you make something mass market and affordable? Many design iterations, many different versions of the technology, a lot of hard work, and then you've got to scale up the production rate so you get economies of scale. And those two things are what make any given technology available to the public. And basically every technology that we take for granted today has gone through that
So the idea
evolution.
of getting to Mars will be affordable someday?
Yes, absolutely. And it has to be. In order for Mars to be a self-sustaining civilization, it has to be affordable. And I think we should regard consciousness on Earth as delicate, not just fragile. What sort of actions can we do to ensure that it continues and that the scope and scale of consciousness expands? And I'm in favor of expansion because, if we want to understand what the universe is about and what's the meaning of life, and we need to get out there and find out. Yeah, no, I was just asked, do you want to die on Mars? And I was like, well, I suppose if you're going to pick Earth or Mars, I'm like, it'd be cool to be born on Earth and die on Mars. I'm not like trying to make a beeline to Mars and just die or something. It's just that you got to pick one. You're gonna die somewhere. Well, sure, Mars. We save taxpayers like $3 billion relative to that contract. So I think that's a good thing. With respect to my personal taxes, I don't actually draw a salary or anything. My cash compensation is basically zero. My money will be the it was the first in and it'll be the last out. The success of SpaceX and Tesla was far from assured, and there are many times when it looked like the companies would, and they did. They skirted bankruptcy many times, but I never tried to take money off the table. And now this is trying to be turned around and made into a bad thing, and that's messed up. And my top marginal tax rate is 53%. So I don't think that's particularly low, and it's going to go up next year. It's like probably 57% or something. Stocks don't always go up; they go down.
Yours seems to.
Most stocks have gone up, including some questionable stocks, frankly.
Are you talking about yourself? I'm sorry.
I think.
Are you surprised by how much it's gone up and how wealthy you've become?
I have literally gone on record and said I think our stock price is too high, in my opinion. And this did nothing to stop the rise of the stock price.
No.
So, I don't know, what am I supposed to do? I'm not the one making it go up.
Walk us through when you decide to do a tweet. You go, no, no, no.
Well,
yes.
I think about it for hours.
Do you?
And I consult with my strategy team.
You just literally go, yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm wasted and I've gone. Let me shoot myself in the foot. Bam. Now let me shoot myself in the foot. Bam.
Yeah.
That describes some of my tweets.
Yeah. Are you worried about any SEC involvement in your tweets going forward?
What does that stand for again? I mean, I know the middle word is Elon's, but I can't remember the other two words.
You need to answer me. You need to answer me. Are you worried they're going to say, Elon, stop fucking tweeting?
You're talking about the Short Seller Enrichment Commission?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Short Seller Enrichment.
That's the new name. You know, like Biden held this EV summit. Didn't invite Tesla. Invited GM, Ford, Chrysler, and UAW. An EV summit on the White House. Didn't mention Tesla once, and praised GM and Ford for leading the EV revolution.
So you were pissed.
Does this sound maybe a little biased or something? And then, you know, just not the friendliest administration. Seems to be controlled by the unions, as far as I can tell.
Who would you like to be president besides yourself?
I would not want to be president at all. Sounds like no fun being president. I think a lot of people think that there's too many people on the planet, but I think there's, in fact, too few, and that possibly the single greatest risk to human civilization is the rapidly diminishing birth rate. No babies, no humanity. You got to come from somewhere. Humanity's tendencies, I mean, we are at a very peaceful moment in history. So, you know, you got to separate the sort of news headlines from the reality. I think, like Steven Pinker at Harvard has really pointed this out. Like, we're actually at the lowest violence per capita in human history. It may not seem like that, but objectively, those are the statistics. That's not to say there's no violence or there aren't things to be improved, but it's, you know, it's actually quite good. You know, just like I said, big picture-wise, I think we want to take the set of actions that maximize the probability that the future is good, and that civilization continues, and that the sort of this small candle of consciousness in the void that is humanity continues, and the candle does not go out.
Hi, Techno King. How do you respond to allegations?
You call him Techno King?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is my formal title. I filed that with the SEC.
Got to be respectful, Kara.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
How do you respond to allegations that you're a living cybergenetic organism sent from the future to save us? And secondly,
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
He's good.
We are building a humanoid robot that will be basically like the car, but with legs. And I kind of held off on doing that for a while because, you know, I certainly don't want to hasten the AI apocalypse. But clearly, if you look at Boston Dynamics, and like those humanoid robots are going to happen. So they're either going to happen with or without Tesla. So it's like Tesla got a lot more ability to ensure robotics safety and AI, and I'll try my best to do that. Even if you, for argument's sake, reduce fatalities by 90% with autonomy, the 10% that do die with autonomy are still going to sue you. Right. The 90% that are living don't even know that that's the reason they're alive. The reality of doing the right thing matters more than the perception of doing the right thing. And as long as we are confident that we're doing the right thing, even if we are criticized and sued and all that, we should nonetheless do the right thing and not care about simply the perception of the right thing. I'm also kind of a pro-nuclear, pro-nuclear. I'm sort of surprised by a lot of the public sentiment against nuclear. I'm not saying we should go build a whole bunch of new nuclear plants, but I don't think we should shut down ones that are operating safely. But they did this in Germany, for example, and I think that was, and then had to create a whole bunch of coal power plants. I don't think that was the right decision, frankly.
The time we talked a couple of years ago, Code, you said we were in a simulation. This past couple of years has seemed truly fucked up.
Yeah.
It feels like a bunch of teenagers from the future are just really smoking a lot of dope and fucking with us. Are we in a simulation?
I mean, my heart says no, and my brain says yes.